From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. RCMP allegations of criminal activity by Indian agents is spiraling into a major diplomatic spat between Canada and India. The Mounties announced yesterday they have credible evidence of murder, extortion, and coercion linked to India. Canada expelled 6 Indian diplomats, while India expelled 6 Canadian diplomats in return and denies the allegations. Canadian Press reporter Laura Osmond says the potential fallout is still unclear.
And it could happen, in several arenas. It could be diplomatic, that we see further action. It could have to do with Canada's business and trade ties, that they sort of seek that retribution. It could be in terms of rhetoric. We know we've seen, for example, really outlandish stories coming out of India about the Prime Minister and his government.
American officials, meanwhile, have opted against condemning India's response and won't comment on Canada's accusations. British Columbia's Conservatives are out with an election platform promising to kickstart the provincial economy and balance the books. It comes just 4 days before BC's election day. Meanwhile, New Democrat leader David Eby calls this BC's most significant election in a generation. Alberta's government has launched a national ad campaign targeting the federal government's incoming emissions cap for the oil and gas sector. Premier Danielle Smith says it's a de facto production cap that would kill jobs and stifle the economy.
The federal Liberals seem uncomfortable or seem quite comfortable with all of this, but I can tell you Alberta is not comfortable with it, and neither are other Canadians.
Smith says her government's Scrap the Cap campaign will cost $7 million. Former U.S. President Donald Trump defended his economic policies in a Q&A session today in Chicago.
The former president spent most of the hour-long Q&A defending taxes on imports.
To me, the most beautiful word in the dictionary is tariff.
I was actually quite kind.
Interviewer John Micklethwaite, Bloomberg's editor-in-chief, pushed Trump on criticisms of his economic policies.
What does the Wall Street Journal know? They've been wrong about everything. So have you.
Micklethwaite asked Trump if he's spoken to Vladimir Putin since leaving office, something Trump has recently denied.
Well, I don't comment on that, but I will tell you that if I did, it's a smart thing.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Toronto tourism officials predict Taylor Swift's 6-concert stint in the city will lead to a little over $150 million in direct spending. Destination Toronto CEO Andrew Weir says that eye-watering sum is just the beginning.
When a visitor spends money at a restaurant, the restaurant then re-spends that same money on wages for staff, on purchasing ingredients, on other professional services, maybe a graphic design firm to do their menus.
He says the nonprofit organization's modeling suggests as the money continues to circulate, the overall economic effect will swell to about $282 million. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the surging Calgary Flames look to continue their undefeated start to the NHL season when they host the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. The Edmonton Oilers are off to an 0-3 start and look to turn things around tonight against visiting Philadelphia. The Vancouver Canucks kick off a 4-game road trip tonight with a game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Professional Women's Hockey League has unveiled its schedule for its second season. The Toronto Scepters host the Boston Fleet, and the Montreal Victoire welcome the Ottawa Charge when the season opens November 30th. The New York Jets have acquired Davante Adams from the Las Vegas Raiders. New York Jets owner Woody Johnson says the swap will greatly improve the Jets' offense.
I think he adds to the running game. He really makes everything. He opens up everything. Particularly having that relationship with the quarterback, that's very important.
The deal reunites Adams with his former Green Bay Packers teammate Aaron Rodgers. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.